Hey guys, it's Liz Mew. Welcome to Number One Ton, where we eat the best vegan Asian food in Sydney. Today's episode is finding the best vegan pho in Sydney, and I love pho, so I have really dug around and I've made a list of the 7 most talked about places for pho in Sydney, or for vegan pho in Sydney, talked about by vegans in Sydney. Yes. If you want to come on more food adventures with me, please subscribe, but for now, let's get eating. So today I'm going to be rating all the pho based on 3 elements. Authenticity, so the flavour of the broth and whether it comes with garnishes, the taste, and because it's something I always look for, good value. At the end of the video, I'm going to pick which pho I think is the best vegan pho in Sydney. Our first stop is Hong Pho in Newtown. I'm ordering the vegan pho, or the pho chay in Vietnamese. So in this pho there's some tofu, there's some bok choy, some broccoli, some carrot, and I saw some cabbage, there it is. So this is a fully loaded vegan healthy pho. So I've got to add some sriracha and hoisin. And I like my chili, but I'm going to do the lemon first. So let's try the broth. It's nice and sweet. It's not too sweet though. It's beautifully savoury. I can really taste the coriander and the fresh spring onions. Okay, noodle time. The broth is just so flavoursome, but also very light, which makes it really easy to just keep eating and eating the noodles. This is such a tasty pho. So if you're after like a healthier pho, this is the place for you, my friends. Loaded with veg, tofu, not too sweet broth, and super authentic. I'm giving this a strong 4 out of 5 for authenticity. It has a great, well-balanced broth that is flavourful and delicious. It gets another 4 out of 5 for taste because it's not too heavy and it's packed with vegetables. And for value, it scores 4 out of 5 again for its very decent serving size. Our next stop is Golden Lotus. So we are at Golden Lotus, which is the favourite place of so many vegans, period. The menu is super extensive, but we are here for the pho. They have 2 options for pho on the menu, but I'm getting the meatier one. Can we please get the vegan chicken pho? Okay, look at this. This is what I love. You get a little plate with bean sprouts and basil, got hoisin and sriracha and chili in there, and a bit of lemon. There is so much meat in the bowl. There's just noodle, meat, onions, and coriander, and that is super traditional in a pho. I love heaps of basil in my pho. Put bean sprouts in. Usually I don't like bean sprouts, but if the broth is hot enough, which it should be, it'll cook the bean sprouts and they won't taste as raw. I'm gonna add some sriracha and hoisin. Okay, so I've just put my bean sprouts in to cook a little bit, and I just want to show you the meat in the noodle bowl. We have some tofu knots, which I love. They've been fried and then put in the broth. We have some vegan chicken, and we have 2 types of tofu. So we have like a flat tofu, and we have some tofu puffs. All right, I am so keen. So I'm gonna try the broth. I can taste the sweetness from the cinnamon in there. The thing I love about these tofu knots is that you can fry them and they'll still be crispy and they'll still soak up all this flavour. That is crispy chicken. Can you hear that? I really think the meat in this dish makes it, especially the chicken. The thing I will say about this pho though is that I think it needs to be just a little bit hotter. I like my pho like really hot. When I put the bean sprouts in, I want the bean sprouts to like cook all the way through. These bean sprouts are still pretty raw, but it's okay. It's still a good pho, very, very tasty. I'm giving this a 4.1 because all the components are so true to a real pho, but it loses marks for not being hot enough to cook the bean sprouts, which I think is super important. For taste, it gets a 4.2 for being incredibly delicious, and I love the selection of meats in the bowl. For value, 3.8 out of 5 because it's a nice big bowl and it's pretty decent for Sydney. Our next stop on this tour is Vena. They also have two options for pho here. They have a vegan chicken or a vegan beef. I've never actually tried vegan beef in a pho before, so I think I'm going to choose that one.
This is hot, I can feel it, and you can see the steam coming off this bowl. Oh, it's so fragrant. This is the most fragrant bowl of pho I've eaten all day. In this bowl of amazing steaming pho, we have vegan beef, we've got some tofu, we have some shimeji mushroom, we've got the tofu bean curd knots, and it's covered in basil. Wow. I just can't get over this smell. It smells so good. This just keeps getting better and better. There is enoki mushrooms in here. There's bean sprouts. Oh my gosh, and there is like a new tofu bean curd roll wrap thing. I don't even know what this is, but I know I'm gonna love it. Anything with like folds? Yes. Okay, the broth test. I love big flavors, and you can just taste the clove, the cinnamon, all the spices that are supposed to be in a pho broth. It's in this broth and it tastes amazing. Oh hell yes. Perfect temperature. It's like meaty as well, not just with the spices. There's like a umami meatiness to it, which is just wonderful. Okay, some noodle action. It's everything I dreamed it would be. Vegan beef. It's not my favorite of meats, but it's okay. But the broth. This bowl is all about the broth, y'all. Just discovered another tofu in this magical bowl. Look at all the folds.
Seriously, just look at that. The delicate bean curd layers are gonna hold in all the flavor. This is called a BCM, you guys. It is a bean curd moment.
Does it come with a side plate of bits? No, but everything important is in the bowl already. No worries, mate. Got my sriracha here, added it in. Perfect bowl of pho. I have been saving this tofu knot because I know it's gonna be really good.
Bean curd moment.
Pretty sure that was life-changing.
I'm giving this a massive 4.8 out of 5 for its amazing, strong, fragrant and full flavoured broth. All the traditional garnishes like basil and sprouts are in the bowl as well. I loved the range of tofu and mushrooms in the bowl, and it scores a 5 out of 5 for taste because this is everything a vegan pho should be like. Again, a 3.8 out of 5 for value because it's a pretty decent serving size and it's a great price for Sydney. Ready for bowl number 4.
So we are at Helen Aunty in Macville, and it's probably my personal favourite Vietnamese spot, but I've never actually had the pho, so I'm super curious to see how it is, and I really, really hope it's good.
Garnishes. Now that's what I'm talking about.
The broth is super hot, so I'm going to chuck my bean sprouts in. Okay, so let's take a look at what is in the bowl. So I've already put my bean sprouts in to cook. They've put some fresh onion on top and some fresh spring onions. There's some fried onion, there's carrot, broccoli, tofu, and 2 types of mushrooms. I can see shiitake here, as well as some shimeji mushroom. Just gonna add the basil now. And I've got a chili oil paste. It's like fried chili. The broth test.
So the fried shallots that are in this really come through. So it's quite a full onion-bodied kind of broth. It's really tasty. I love the temperature. It definitely still tastes like pho. Like, it's not just a soupy noodle kind of dish. The bean sprouts are cooked perfectly. They're still crunchy, but there is none of that raw flavor, which I really don't like. I'm super happy with this pho. This is a really hearty pho. I am feeling so warmed and like it's just hugging my tummy. Just gonna eat all of this chili. It's adding so much flavor to the pho. Out of chili. It's a sad time. But it's in my noodles, so it's okay. So you can just see the chili oil floating in there, and it's just full of flavor. It's just filling every mouthful of broth with this beautiful onion and chili. Oh, goodness. In terms of authentic like spices, I think there could be more, but otherwise it's still like 100 for tastiness. This gets 3.8 out of 5 for authenticity because it comes with all the right garnishes, but I feel like if the aromatics in the broth were a little bit stronger, the whole thing could have been taken to the next level. In saying that, the hearty oniony flavour and the chili oil earns this pho a solid 4.7 out of 5. For value, it gets a 3 out of 5 because it's definitely on the more expensive side, but hey, you pay for the service and the atmosphere, and I'm definitely coming back. Thank you, Auntie. Didn't let me down. Loved the pho. Next stop, eat pho. So I've only heard good things about Eat Pho's vegan pho, and I am super excited to try it, and my expectations are quite high. So let's give it a crack. Could I please get the vegan pho? Ooh, it's hot. Okay, so this is super fragrant as well. I can smell the pho aromatics in this. Topped with basil. Check it out, check it out, check it out. There is basil, spring onion, fresh onion. We've got bean sprouts on there. We've got big chunky slabs of tofu. Check that out. Check that out. And we have some shiitake, I think. Yes, big fat chunks of shiitake mushroom. Wow. I love that here you can help yourself to unlimited sauce, chili, and lemon. Look at the color of that broth. It is so dark. I can taste that star anise. It's like meaty. So fresh. You can really tell that they've gone to the effort of getting all the spices right in a vegan pho, which I can so appreciate. Just look at that. This is everything you need and want in a spoonful of pho. You've got herbs throughout the spoon, you've got bean sprouts, so every spoonful is going to be filled with flavor and texture. The pho is excellent, and I totally get why everyone is talking about this place, and I think it's safe to say that my expectations have been met. This gets a 4.8 out of 5 for authenticity. The broth is perfect, aromatic, flavorful, and served blistering hot, which I love. For taste, it gets a 5 out of 5. Again, it's just a prime example of a perfect vegan pho. For value, at a very fair price of $14 for a small and $16 for a large, it gets a 3.8 out of 5. Our next stop is PHD in Marrickville. I can smell the value in the place. This place totally reminds me of my childhood. I used to eat pho every weekend with my parents in either Flemington or Eastwood, and it's got those Vietnamese vibes. I can smell sesame oil, which is a strange choice for pho. Okay, this is the PHD pho. It's got tofu, mushroom, cabbage. I can see some broccoli stems. There's bok choy, and it's topped with some coriander, spring onion, and some fried onions. So I didn't get any side garnishes like the basil and bean sprouts, which I am a little bit sad about because everyone else who has ordered a normal pho has got the side plate of garnishes, but with my little vegan pho, I didn't get anything, which is a bit sad. So I'm gonna add my usual hoisin and sriracha because it's all I can do. Okay, I'm gonna taste the broth. It doesn't taste anything like a traditional pho, unfortunately. It's sweet, which is kind of like a pho, but it's kind of just like sweet sesame oil water. So I am really missing those traditional pho flavors, and I'm missing the crunch of the bean sprouts and the aromatics in the broth, the basil. Just a bit sad with this pho. The rice noodle's good, but hey, it's rice noodle. This is just a totally different dish. It's not pho, I'm sorry. This is just mushroom put in water. I think the broth is kind of boring. Like, honestly, I feel like I'm being really generous by giving this a 1.5 out of 5 for authenticity. There are no garnishes, there are no aromatics in the broth, and sesame oil, so not authentic. I'll give it a 2 out of 5 for taste, only because I love sesame oil, but that's about it. But at least it's cheap, so the next time I want noodles in a bowl of sesame oil water for a good price, I mean, I guess I'll come here. It's our final stop. We are at World Vegan in Cabramatta, and I am so excited because Cabramatta has Australia's largest Vietnamese community, which means everything here should be super authentic, and I am so excited. There are 5 options for pho on this menu, and they're $10 or $11. I think we're gonna have to get 2. The pho duck, and the soy fish pho as well. We are double dipping in pho today, guys. We got the combination pho, and then we have the soy fish pho. We got basil, of course, we have crunchy bean sprouts, and we have fresh zingy lime. See the little pieces of soy fish already. Okay, I'm gonna put the bean sprouts in because it's hot. I like to put my bean sprouts at the bottom. So I just cover them in the noodle so that they get the most heat. Okay, I'm gonna try the broth. That is a good broth. Just tastes like authentic pho. They're the same broth. I think there's lemongrass in the fish here. And look at the size of these bowls. These bowls are huge. These are the biggest pho we have eaten so far on this mission. This is 22 bucks for 2 bowls, so $11 each. And like, this is like 2 servings in a bowl, like crazy. This just wins value. You could feed a family with this bowl of pho, and I got 2, so I better get eating. It's fresh, it's hearty, and it's meaty all at the same time. This is the soy fish. It's covered in a little layer of nori. Just gonna give it a go. The soy fish is good, but I'm actually most excited for this guy. Look at this textured, bumpy, fried piece of bean curd. Yum. I'm just gonna soak it in the broth to get all that flavor. Gonna get a bit of basil. Bean curd, moment. Bean curd never lets me down. Oh, what is this? Ooh. I don't know what this is, guys, but I'm gonna eat it. This is like primarily tofu. It's actually lots of bean curd sheets rolled together with pepper and then sliced. I thought it was gonna be fake meat, but whoops, it's not. Ooh, there are little bits of TVP, which is textured vegetable protein, so it's kind of like mince. Let me just try some. I think the combination is definitely my favorite. So this gets a 4.5 out of 5 for authenticity because it's authentic AF. That is all I can say, especially with the combination fur. Great composition with the meat, onions and coriander on top, and you just get all the garnishes, which is wonderful, and the broth is great. For taste, I'm also giving both these bowls a 4.5 out of 5 because everything was just so delicious. Just look at that. And for value, this just knocks everyone else out of the park. The bowls are massive and you just get generous portions here. And that's how you do pho, guys. That's how it's done. Okay, it's been so hard to pick a winner out of all the pho that we've had because I know everyone has different preferences and tastes, but for me, I think the winner has to be Eat Pho, followed really closely by Vena. Which pho did you like the best, guys? Please let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to my channel.